on a couple of occasions this year. The Capital One starting lineup for the Bruins, and it starts with Jessica Clements. That swing, the oh my goodness look rounding the bases. It was a walk-off to beat Oregon in the first game she's ever played here at the Women's College World Series. That happened on Thursday night. They won that one, but then lost yesterday to Nigeri Kennedy and Texas Tech 3-1. So a quick turnaround for the UCLA Bruins as they get set to take on Tennessee. They had the day off yesterday. They lost to Oklahoma Thursday and then beat Florida on Friday night. Winner is into the national semifinals. Loser goes home. Ooh. Underway in our first elimination game of the day. Oklahoma and Oregon coming up tonight at 7 Eastern. And slicing that the opposite way for a base hit is the transfer from Cal Poly and an early base runner for the Bruins.
Continuing to swing a hot bat, by the way. Jessica Clements leads this team. We talked about Woolery, we talked about Megan Grant with all the pop. Clements has been the batting average in the NCAA tournament, close to 500.
This is big for UCLA for the top of their lineup. Their best three hitters are right here, Pola, Woolery, and Grant. They have not reached a whole lot yet. They have not had an opportunity to drive in runs a whole lot yet. Woolery hit a home run off of Sage Margetko, who came on in relief for Tennessee when these two teams met way back in February. That was the game winner for the Bruins. Savvy Pola takes a ball, 1-1. The senior out of Santa Ana, California. This is the experienced part of their lineup. They roll with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Pola tries to lay down the bunt, 1-2. Savvy's got a hit in 6 of her last 7 games, one of the most improved hitters in the country. Working with Lisa Fernandez. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Pickens, 1 down.
Well, that's the changeup that Pickens has been using effectively. About 30% of the time her pitches here in Oklahoma City, that pitch dropping down to 65 miles an hour. I know that that was a point of emphasis with Karen Weekly, and the pitching staff is making sure that Pickens gets that changeup a little bit lower in velocity.
And so here's the matchup of All-Americans with Woolery stepping in against Pickens. Junior out of Walnut Creek, California. 23 homers, 86 runs batted in. And she had the swing in the Super Regionals that saved UCLA's season. On the brink of elimination, she brought them back in Game 2, and then they won Game 3, both of those on the road. Right through the wickets of Pickens, and then bobbled behind the bag, and everybody will be safe, as Dodge couldn't pick it up clean. A couple of singles for UCLA here in the first.
This ball well struck back up the middle, right through the legs of Pickens. It goes off the glove, the bag, and had a little bit of a pop up, and Dodge, who was playing and got there in time, just can't handle it as it ricochets off.
She almost got 2 nutmegs on that. And an early UCLA threat. Megan Grant. Her first RISP opportunity of the World Series. And she swung like it. 0-1.
You're not going to see a whole lot of swing and miss, too, for Megan Grant. Only 9 strikeouts on the season. Only 2 in all of Big Ten play. She'll take some hacks early on, but...
Pops it up, out on the grass. And Laura Mueller couldn't come up with it. And they'll get the force out at third base. They call the infield fly with the shortstop Mueller. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was lost in the sun, but you could see the way that she was traveling backward. We saw this at Super Regionals, a little bit of miscommunication between Mueller going out, outfield coming in, but that's off the glove. I think that maybe just a little bit of a hard time with the brightness in the sun. You can see her squinting.
I think she lost it right at the end.
Yeah. Good job of picking that up. And now
so if the infield fly is in effect, then the base runner at second base could have just stayed there. You advance at your own risk. And she was out at third, but was she tagged out, or did the third baseman just touch third base?
Touch third base, and then they come back.
She went into the dugout, so that's why.
On the first play, we had an infield fly. On the second out, third out, the runner at third base abandoned her base.
So it wasn't a forced play. No. They could have tagged her, but because she left and went back into the dugout. So this ends up being a double play on what was a miscue for Tennessee. Laura Mueller lose this ball in the sun, and what should have been advantage UCLA. It drops out, infield fly rule in effect. But because Jessica Clemens went to third base, thought she was out. Now watch her come off the field back in the dugout. That's actually why she's out, because they never tagged her.
A huge crowd here at Devon Park for this Survival Sunday matchup. Our starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. And for the Tennessee Lady Vols, we highlight their 2 home run hitters from their win over Florida in their second game here. Sophia Nugent and Boo Gibson taking it deep. 30 home runs for that pair on the season. And they will face Caitlin Terry, 20-game winner, and picked up that 20th win on Thursday night here at the World Series by beating Oregon for the sophomore out of Glendale, Arizona.
Terry does a good job of limiting those free passes, just 33 walks in her 143+ innings.
Ball.
And she will face Gabby Leach to open things up. Gabby and her sister Alana both in the starting lineup again today for Tennessee out of the Woodlands, Texas. So far at the World Series, Gabby with a hit and a run scored in both of their games. Check a couple of boxes for your leadoff hitter.
Ball inside.
Just to clarify, too, that last double play with the infield fly rule, we talked with our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell, during the break. It doesn't matter where the ball is as long as that position player is an infielder. The shortstop, Laura Mueller, even though she was on the grass, the infield fly rule is still in play.
Well, there's a lot to discuss on that. Not just Clemens clearly didn't see the call, you know, being able to understand if that's called, but also Lisa Fernandez at third base also did not see the call because she would not have let her vacate third base.
We've seen some interesting plays here at the World Series this year.
Especially for UCLA, it feels like. I mean, all across the board, but a stolen home last night.
Stealing home.
That was mind-blowing.
And for the fellow stat geeks like myself, you have to score that a 6U and a 5U, not a double play. And a strikeout for Terry as she sits Leach down, 1 away.
Caitlin Terry, the lefty, just has great ability to spin the ball through the zone. A good curveball that she'll throw on both sides. A changeup she'll drop down to the high 50s, and then that rise ball at the top of the zone. You can see that really good rotation that she gets. She's hoppy at the top. That last pitch, though, was a backdoor curveball to strike out Leach. And the interesting fact is that Tennessee hits just .256 against left-handed pitching. They're at .320 against righties, but do struggle a little bit against lefties. I think KT, as they call her, is a great matchup.
Well, it's interesting, too, right? Tennessee saw lefties in SEC play the last 2 series of the regular season and then another lefty at the SEC tournament.
Robin Heron from Arkansas late in the season.
Here's Taylor Pannell. Big turnaround for her late in the season. After a fantastic regular season, that one squirts away from Terry on an 85-degree day that feels closer to 90 with 50% humidity. It is a steamy one.
And you can see she's going to come down into her release zone, and it goes off of her knee. I've done that before. That does not feel good. So she throws it off her plant leg, her knee.
Opposite way for Pannell, and she continues to swing it well. Her 5th hit now at the World Series.
She had 3 hits against Oklahoma, 1 again yesterday. Got on base twice, actually. But this is Taylor Pannell when she's at her best. But this is a hitter that's led the team in almost every offensive category, but went through a real lull. Beautiful job. Look at the simplicity. Drops the barrel down and just pokes it through to right field.
She was 2 for 17 coming into the World Series, and now 5 for 8. Just simplified the process. Gonna hunt a pitch, find one I like. Here's the 0-1, and that'll head the other way and drop in fair for Ella Dodge. So UCLA with a couple of hits early, and Tennessee follows suit.
Both opposite field hits. And this is, you know, just talking to Tennessee, talking to Craig Snyder, who's their hitting coach. They have a plan early. Clearly right now, it's hunt something. Split the plate a half, middle, away, that's what you hunt, and they're doing it early in the count. Right here for Ella Dodge is the 2nd pitch of the at-bat.
And both of them hitting from behind. 2-strike hit for Pannell.
Sophia Nugent doesn't wait for a 2nd pitch, lifts that out to the track, and almost a collision. It's held onto by the right fielder, Liesl Osteen. And some shaky communication early, but she's able to hold on to it, colliding with Clements.
Well, they're both calling for it, and this is one of the things because of the crowds here. Now, more times than not, it's always going to be center field that takes over, except for when there's a runner at 2nd base. That's when Liesl Osteen has a better throw advantage. So she's trying to call off her center fielder, Jessica Clements, because that way she can be in a position to possibly throw out the runner. But either way, neither one listening, both yelling.
Right field has been a position with some movement for UCLA this year, because that is often where Terry will play when she's not pitching.
Right.
So Osteen getting just her 16th start out there in right.
You see Clements practicing yelling louder. She's going, I need to, and you do, especially as a player position of leadership. That's center field. You got to be loud.
And how about Nugent taking that changeup the opposite way, really staying back? Both of the hits opposite way, so it looks like Tennessee really letting that ball travel off of KT, knowing that she's going to mix a lot of speeds and work those corners.
All right, so the runners were able to tag in advance, so 2 in scoring position for the home run hitter yesterday, and UCLA's not going to give her a chance. Boo Gibson, the intentional walk to load the bases, and they'll get a force out anywhere with Laura Mueller coming up. They'd much rather deal with the senior transfer from Middle Tennessee. Although Laura is 4 for 6 here at the World Series.
Has a better batting average, better numbers. Now, Boo Gibson had some good at-bats yesterday and has more power.
Karen Weekly trying to find that elusive championship ring. Only Oklahoma State has been here more times without a title. Now in her 24th year in Knoxville. Mueller swing and a miss on the first offering. Laura does have a grand slam this year. That was a big swing against Miami of Ohio a couple of weekends ago in the NCAA regionals.
Ball outside.
Mueller delivers. 1 run is in. Here comes another to the plate. And Laura Mueller protects Boo Gibson after the intentional walk and drives in a pair.
I'll tell you what, when Tennessee's offense has a plan coming into the game, and this hasn't really been their story consistently through the regular season, it has definitely been their story in the postseason. Their plan clearly is to be able to stay inside the ball, drive the ball middle opposite field. All hits that we've seen have done just that. And this is a great job on a pitch up and in. And how about the batter getting pitched around you to get to you, and you get the clutch hit.
They have now scored 11 runs in the first inning of their 3 games here at the World Series.
Look at that, incredible. 25 hits in those first 3 innings, 20 runs.
Put up a 7 spot the other day against Florida in the first inning.
Now, and remember, this is a lineup that Karen Weekly basically shuffled around at Super Regionals.
Alana Leach drives Riley Slimp back, and that'll end the inning. But the Lady Vols grab the early lead. After the intentional walk, Laura Mueller makes them pay and drives in a pair with an RBI single right back up the middle. Well, let's go back to that end of that first inning for the infield fly rule and UCLA.
You can see immediately the umpire signals that it's an infield fly.
Once that happens, Jessica Clemens needs to be able to stay on second base, and that's just knowing the rule and also recognizing that. And I said this before too, Lisa Fernandez, a third base coach, once you see that signal, it is big stop signs, stay on second, and once she comes at third, don't let her vacate and go back to the dugout. Now that's hard. We talk about loud atmosphere. That's a visual cue, and her eyes are on the fielder. I get it. So now you're relying on your ears. I don't know how loud the call was because it was just a visual call.
The defense for Tennessee gets credited with a double play, their 14th of the year.
It's a call, quite honestly, we don't see a ton of in softball. And the awareness to know the situation there, and it ends the inning.
And the whole point of the rule is to avoid actually what just happened.
Yes.
A double play.
Yeah. So infielders don't purposely drop the ball to be able to get 2 outs.
Well, and I think the reality of it, the umpires, the second out was the vacation of, or vacating the field.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was intentional on Tennessee's part.
All right, so here's Lefty Ramirez. 5, 6, and 7. UCLA facing the deficit after Tennessee dropped 2 on them in the bottom of the first. Got to win it to stay in it on this Survival Sunday at the Women's College World Series. You get the dub today, you are into the national semifinals. And the winner of this one will meet Texas tomorrow, having to win twice. The Longhorns just need to win once to get into the championship series. And a full count to Ramirez, the sophomore out of Whittier, California. Just returned from an ACL injury in March, so this is her 37th game, and just returned as the everyday catcher in the postseason. And Lefty gets a hold of one, and she sends it out. Ramirez draws one back for UCLA.
Lefty Ramirez, second home run here at the World Series. Don't forget she hit one opening day against Oregon. You guys, just her 6th home run of the season. This isn't what she's known for. She's known for her skills behind the plate, what she does for this pitching staff. Instead, she takes now a full count pitch, and look at where this pitch is located. Get up and get some. Are you kidding me? This is up out of the zone. She meets this. So impressed with what she's done here at the World Series, you guys. That is a rise ball that comes high velocity against Pickens, and she hits it out of here. Her 6th on the year.
On a 3-2 pitch. All the runs, by the way, now for UCLA at the World Series, courtesy of home runs. And now on the year, they're up to 98. Second most in school history. Led by a pair of 20 home run hitters in Woolery and Grant. And here's Riley Slimp, one of the 6 underclassmen and newcomers in the starting lineup.
I can't get over Lefty Ramirez and just her story, tearing her ACL, Beth, as you mentioned last year, spending the entire season sitting next to Kelly Inouye Perez and just picking her brain.
A former catcher herself.
Yeah, former catcher for the Bruins.
And that's why they let her call games.
Yes.
You know, it's a big part of it.
And honestly, that's why, that is the reason she starts every day. And I'm not knocking her offense, but she is a force behind the plate. And the bats come alive in the postseason. 10 RBIs. That's second on the team.
Yeah, and somewhat non-traditional. She catches and throws left-handed, right? But bats right-handed.
It's right-handed. And Pickens gets strikeout number 2, 1 down.
Pickens comes back with this 67-mile-an-hour pitch. This is basically what she calls her off speed, so that she gets the hitters are sitting 74, 75, that 67-mile-an-hour pitch over the top. It's still elevated a little bit. Pickens has been working hard. She's fallen behind at times.
Effectively wild.
That's right.
Well, the home runs have been up in the postseason. Well, as you would imagine, there's some tough competition.
That's not an easy pitch, though, that got hit out. I mean, a rise ball that's up above the zone.
In for a strike to Kanaya Bragg. She's got a home run here at the World Series. Hit one off an Ivory Kennedy yesterday.
Well, and remember, UCLA, as you just mentioned, saw Kennedy yesterday.
And Lindsey Grind before that. This is their 3rd All-American ace in a row.
And they saw Pickens earlier in the year, over 4 innings pitched, only 1 strikeout in that game back in February.
Pickens has her here, 1 and 2. This is a tough lineup.
A lot of heat in those last names.
All-American pitchers. I mean, best of the best. That's the World Series, though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
got to beat the best to be the best. And a called strike 3, 2 down.
Pitching Pickens up. Look, home run delivery.
Oh, there we go.
Number 2 here in Oklahoma City.
To the Ramirez family. They're stockpiling them.
I mean, you got a shirt made and everything.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Here's Sophia Mojica, the designated player, freshman from San Diego. Granite Hills High School, where she set a new California high school home run record. And is she going to show us why? Continuing to do it in college, the 2nd of the inning for UCLA. And they come right back and tie it up. And they are peppering Pickens.
Now it's the freshman, too. And this is the bottom of the order for this UCLA Bruins team. And look at that, 72 miles an hour off the bat. And you're going to see that with Pickens. If you can meet it, especially up in the zone. This is 70 miles an hour. Again, top of the zone, not quite as high as what we saw with Ramirez. But if you can meet 70 at the top, it's going to leave the yard 72 miles an hour. And this is a huge punch from the freshman Mojica.
First postseason dinger for her.
Well, those are rise balls that have about 6 inches of vertical lift. That's not enough, 6 to 7 inches. They've got to figure out a way to either put those in a different spot, change the velo on it, a better setup pitch. And first time she's given up 2 home runs in an inning this year.
Of course, this is on the heels of a walk-off home run earlier in the World Series in the loss to Oklahoma on opening day. Ramirez getting her defense ready to get back out there. Make sure they're all on the same page. We'll just look down at Devon Park here in Oklahoma City. Home of the World Series and also the 2028 LA Olympics. They're going to play softball here. Mueller at short, and that'll end the inning. But a destructive one for the Bruins.
We came into this talking about the Bruin Bombers and Woolery and Grant, but here in Oklahoma City on Survival Sunday, Lefty Ramirez gets one up in the zone, chases it out of here, and then another solo shot by the freshman, Sofia Mojica. Tying this game 2-2, heading the bottom of the second.
Oh, they're having a good time at the Women's College World Series, especially UCLA after those 2 homers. Hallie Rowe?
Around third after a base hit or a home run, they get a coffee bean. Lisa Fernandez throws that to them. That's because the team has been reading the book called The Coffee Bean by John Gordon and Damon West. The allegory is that if you put a carrot in hot water, it gets soft. An egg, it gets hard. But a coffee bean changes the water. It makes a positive change. And so it's called The Coffee Bean, a simple lesson to create positive change, trying to figure out how you can be the change in every single situation, much like a coffee bean.
Nice.
Always good to get a treat after rounding the bases.
Well, it's chocolate
for
covered.
home.
I mean, something.
Oh, yeah. Espresso beans.
Espresso beans, exactly.
Emma Clark, the freshman, will get things going. 8-9, and then the top for Tennessee. They scored twice in the bottom of the first. UCLA rattled right back with 2 of their own. Clark has a hit in both games thus far. First time for her at the World Series. Excuse me, first time for her at the Women's College World Series.
That's right.
She has already been to the Little League World Series. My bad.
Seeing that more and more. These young girls
Love it.
on that stage get to this stage.
Who's she with? Oh, look at the celebrities she found playing for the Southeast a few years back.
Right, up in Alpenrose Dairy.
They made it to the finals, right?
Yeah, they sure did. They unfortunately lost, but yeah, they were balling it back then too. Maya Davis from Texas Tech has won and played in a World Series, the Little League World Series, the older.
We've got it for you too. I think it starts August 3rd. We'll have the coverage for you. This year's Little League World Series. Full count here after the 0-2 start. How's that one back? Tennessee, one of 5 SEC schools that made their way to the Women's College World Series. 3 remain, with Texas and Oklahoma, the 2 newcomers to the league this year, after the Sooners won the regular season championship, which Karen Weekly had won the 2 previous years.
Great at bat from Emma Clark. I mean, Caitlin Terry has given her everything. 9th pitch coming. See this a lot of foul balls. Try to get to the mistake. Pitchers will make them.
That was a shot. It fired at you, Smitty.
Above them.
That'll get out of play.
Smitty didn't really make mistakes, actually.
Out to battle, right? I think the biggest pressure point here for the pitcher is that you don't want to walk them. The walk's as good as a hit, so you've got to come around the zone. You got to make something look appetizing enough to swing through it.
This is also where the off speed, though, is huge. Be able to mix that in. And that's what surprises me. I think the one thing with Caitlin Terry, she throws her changeup 9% of the time, and it's a great pitch. I'm surprised it's not up there more, especially because of that curveball to these righties. So you know something's going to be coming inside to you. You're going to get that barrel going early.
Well, because she throws at first strike 64% of the time, and a 30% swing and miss on the change.
And finally, that one's in play. Down again to Savipola from her knees. One down. Ends the extended at-bat.
Oh, there you go. You always love that as a pitcher when you have that extended at-bat. The ball's hit hard. You've got your defense behind you. And Savipola, look at the way she's going to go down to her knees. She doesn't panic. She doesn't rush the throw to first. Able to make that throw to get the out.
And that's the Mujica home run ball.
I'm her. I love that.
That's fabulous. Folks celebrating the tradition here of the delivery of the home run balls at the World Series. Here's Kinsey Fiedler, the transfer from Washington, so she's familiar with the Bruins. Kinsey has now been to the World Series with 2 different programs. Brought with her a little bit of swagger, a whole lot of leadership for this Lady Vol team. And she wants to take that into the dugout when she's done playing. So if you're looking for a young up-and-coming coach, she might be somebody to give a call to.
There's the changeup. So after using a curve on the outer half to the lefty Fiedler, she's going to come back with that changeup, trying to use that effective velocity on the outer half, try to get her to swing around that, reach around that pitch.
Approaching 40 pitches now through the first couple of innings for Caitlin Terry. After Fiedler, it's the top of the lineup. Jammed her.
Terry's good at battling, just 33 walks given up on the year, and that's why we saw her able to really battle Emma Clark with that very long extended bat at full count. She's got good control of the zone, so control the ability to throw strikes or balls when you want to, but command of pitches is then the ability to make those pitches move.
That wasn't an easy battle off, too. You get the off speed off the plate. She doesn't want to leave it up to the umpire. Able to foul that one off.
Well, and that's the off-speed, Jess, that I'd love to see her throw that at about 40 feet. So hop it in, trust your catcher to be able to keep it in front, and if she swings through it, throw her out at first.
This is the 18th pitch to the first 2 batters this inning.
That was a great pitch. A little front door action, too, throwing that curveball at the front hip. Fiedler, it comes what looked like back over the plate.
10 foul balls for Clark and Fiedler. Ooh. On the front porch again with that one. One, two. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Second strikeout for KT as we send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, you see Caitlin Terry out here throwing left-handed, but it's a bizarre story on why. When she was about 4 or 5 years old, her parents went to the Nike store, and the right-hander gloves were $60. The gloves for left-handers were $15. So her parents, more in a moment.
Base hit out to center field. Gabby Leach is aboard. Holly?
Her parents, Joe and Christy, decided to just make Caitlin Terry a left-hander because the glove was less expensive. So they took her home, turned her into a lefty. I noticed she also bats left-handed, and I just think that's such a cute story. Of that. The glove was cheaper. That's why Mom and Dad went that route. That's a great story I saw in Softball America, so good job by them.
quite the advantage.
And she probably wanted to be more like Michelle Smith.
You know, there aren't as many lefties, right? It's even Major League Baseball.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, just ability to have that in your pen opens things up.
Olympic gold medalist, Hall of Famer, Michelle Smith. Olympic gold medalist and one of the best hitters in USA history, Jessica Mendoza.
A lot of lefty love up here.
Beth Mullins, Holly Rowe, we've watched the Olympics. It's good stuff. Coming back in 2028, and is it definitely 32 or likely 32 in Australia? Okay.
Hopefully. Yeah, Australia. That's a program that's medaled quite often.
There's Taylor Pannell. Taylor singled and scored in the first. She and Ella Dodge came in on the Laura Mueller 2-run single. All 3 of those hits in the first inning to the opposite field.
Gabby Leach did it the same to get on first base. It's definitely an approach. Tennessee's done a great job this postseason with scouting opponents, having a great game plan, and then executing.
Coming back at us.
Again, Sam Landry and even Jordy Ball last weekend, these Tennessee hitters understood the side of the plate they were searching for then. For these righties, it was inside, so they're backing off the plate, able to get barrel on the ball. Now it seems to be a lot more opposite field approach.
Had the and run going.
Yes, they did. Trying to keep the bats hot after 12 hits and 11 runs in their last game against Florida to set World Series records. Everybody got involved. So now they've already won 3 elimination games in this postseason. I think Oregon, the only one that's won more. They are 4-0 in elimination games with 3 walk-offs. They're playing later tonight against Oklahoma. Fly ball into center, and on the run is Clements to make the play. 2-2 ball game through 2. We're headed to the 3rd, which means it's party time in Westwood.
Well, the 3rd inning means it is party time in the UCLA dugout. And this just isn't a silly party or a silly time. It actually has a real purpose. Their sports psychologist, Dr. Mondo Gonzalez, is constantly talking to them about bring back the joy. Play like you were a little girl when you didn't have the weight of the world and all the pressure. And this is a way for them to just release a little tension, get some of the pressure off their back, and get some energy in the dugout. So it's a party, but it definitely has a purpose.
Thank you, Holly.
Parties with a purpose. I'm all for it. And honestly, to keep it loose here at the World Series, because there's so much tension, so much pressure. If you're not smiling and enjoying each other while being focused, supporting each other, game has changed. I know there's people who are cringing from a
old schooler, so it's an adjustment. Yeah.
I think the favorite image is Kelly and
love the shot of Kelly sitting there,
dialed in, but with a party hat on. That's like the old school in her, but like fine, put a party hat on.
Was fabulous. Top 3. Bruins will go to work with Clements, and back to the top of the order. She singled her first time up. 448 in the NCAA tournament coming into the day with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in.
3 years at Cal Poly, was unsure if she could have success at this level. Really had a lot of doubt earlier in the year, and comes from a UCLA Bruin alum, Puppy Vecchione.
That's right.
That's right. Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And who coached for UCLA for a long time.
Yeah.
Ground ball to Gibson, got her footwork right and makes the play, 1 down.
When we talk a lot about pitches and movement, but speeds, how important is 2 miles an hour? Here's a home run that Ella Parker hit off of Pickens, 67 miles an hour. It's a changeup, it's an off speed. Here's one at 65. It goes out of the park at 67. It's a swing and miss at 65. So that's how important 2 miles an hour is.
Right at panel. 2 down.
And so that's one of the things that Holly Rowe was talking with Coach Karen Weekly yesterday before the game. What is Carlin working on with that changeup? And Coach basically told Holly she needs to throw that pitch in the low 60s. She needs to create that separation of velocity, absolutely.
Because when you can throw at 79, if your separation is only 10, now you're right back in people's wheelhouse with a changeup.
100%, or if you're even late,
yeah,
you know, they could square it up.
It's her 3 different speeds, though, to Smitty's point, too,
yeah.
She can hit on 3 different. So, yeah, she can go up. Of course, we've seen 79, but realistically, it's going to be 74, 75. But then if she's got some pitches that are 70, 72, and then the 65, yeah, look out.
Well, I think you can't just live on velocity. You've talked about it all the time, Jess, right? You love velocity. You're like, give me 67 all day long, I'll square that up. It's the different abilities to change velocity as well as eye level. Drop at 22%, using it a lot more this year. Rise ball, a lot more.
Fastball's down.
Exactly.
That's all we hear from coaches, right? Change of speeds, change of planes.
Well, it's got to be plus, right? So it's velocity plus what? Plus movement. Velocity plus, how about change in velocity?
Oh, I mean, literally 40% of the time she's throwing a fastball last year. I mean, thank you. Yes, give me straight and velocity, and now it's changed towards more rise, it's more drop, and it's more change. So now you're seeing more movement with that velocity and not just straight.
2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year the last 2 seasons for Tennessee. Full count here to Woolery, and Jordan draws the walk. She's on base for the 2nd time. And there's the go-ahead run aboard. First free pass of the day. And now it's Megan Grant. So these are the 2 big boppers, Woolery and Grant. And Megan Rhodes Smith, their former pitcher and now pitching coach, will go out to talk with Carlin.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah, we've seen 2 home runs in this game, and it has not been off these 2 bats, which
this is
their
good
power.
Exactly. This is a good visit. There's 2 outs. There's a runner on. If I'm stepping in the box in this situation as Grant, I'm thinking I'm looking for something that I can drive.
Because the home run hitting Ramirez is on deck, so no wiggle room.
Well, and we've talked through super regionals earlier in this World Series that Pickens, because when she does get juiced, when she overthrows, she throws through those spins, right? You run out of real estate. You've got to spin the ball or snap the ball harder in order to get that downward movement on the drop, upward movement on the rise.
They call her the chef. Grant, and a slow roller to second, and scooped over to first. Yeah, that was quick for Pickens to get out of that. 2 apiece. Kelly I on the mic with Holly when we come back.
Here with UCLA Bruin head coach Kelly Inouye-Perez. And Coach, your bats have gotten off to a really good start against Pickens. What has been the key there?
You know, it's going to sound great. We always just talk about being ourselves, but we've been training for this. Lisa Fernandez and Bubba Nichols have done an outstanding job of setting up game plans and preparing, and that started in fall. So we knew we were going to be able to face the best arms here in the World Series, and we're prepared for it.
On the flip side, Caitlin Terry, they've gotten to her a little bit. What do you want to see her do differently?
We came out with a game plan, so did they. So I actually sat with KT on the bus before this game and said, it's not even about just what the right pitch is with these guys. You've got to get to pitching and understand how to get a feel. So I turned it over to them, and I wanted to do exactly that. She did a great job of being able to mix speeds, throw locations, but we've been practicing this, being able to play her game. But there's such a feel to how she's got to try to get batters out because these guys are good.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Holly. So to the bottom of the 3rd for Tennessee, coming up to the plate to face Caitlin Terry. It's 3, 4, and 5. And
ball.
What an advantage for Kelly I to have that coaching staff that's been around her for so long, and now adding Bubba Nichols recently, an Olympian for Team USA. But with Lisa Fernandez, who's dealing with the hitters now, well, she's been a pretty good pitcher in her day as well. Always good to show these two, the only two in history to cap off an undefeated season with a national championship.
0.14. Look at what?
What is that? Is that like 1 run for the season?
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Back in 92 for Lisa, 4 runs.
It was
all
4
out.
runs. It was
4
4
runs.
runs.
And then, of course, Jenny Finch in 2001. Lisa beat Arizona to win the national championship. Jenny beat UCLA to win
That's when there were
the
only 2
national
teams in
championship.
softball.
Yeah, they were going back and forth at each other for a decade.
Yeah.
As Dodge grounds out.
2 of the greats. They got to be teammates on the 2004 Olympic team, which is pretty cool when you can cross the generations. The greatest of all time.
So many former players now getting back in the game as coaches.
Well, I think it's cool too that the USA Softball Player of the Year, they modeled a couple years ago the trophy after Lisa Fernandez, after her pitching.
Yeah, her
Not her hitting.
her
Sorry,
iconic
Jess.
form.
Yeah. Well, when you have a .14 ERA.
All right, yeah. We'll put her on as a pitcher instead of a hitter.
Yeah. She could hit, but the numbers didn't look like that.
Oh, gosh, so funny.
Did you drive in one of those runs?
Oh, man.
The 1 run she gave up all year.
She had a knee-buckling changeup that, it's just so hard to hit. You had to sit every pitch like a changeup. And, you know, there's some pitchers like that. That's why I always recommend doing that. Because I couldn't hit it any other way.
Well, we've seen that here.
Yes.
Yeah. Megan Langenfeld had her screwball.
Yep.
Taryn Mowat had the changeup. Some of the stars over the years.
Well, and if you look at the star athletes that have won the World Series, Danielle Laurie, Taryn Mowat, as you mentioned, it's usually always ability to mix speeds.
Yep.
It's always the first pitch I talk with young pitchers about learning is change up and a drop ball. Drop ball, you're not fighting gravity. You can roll ground balls. You get a good defense. You like to call it democratic. You get everybody involved.
Get them all involved. Nugent. And we'll get into the stands. We are building towards the 20th anniversary of the championship series here in Oklahoma City. Best 2 out of 3 will start on Wednesday when we get down to the final 2 teams. Might it be an all-Texas affair? The Longhorns and the Red Raiders are in the driver's seat. And a called strike 3 there to Nugent, 2 down. Here comes Boo Gibson, and this is what she did on Friday.
Big reason why she got walked back in the first inning. This bat starting to get going for Boo Gibson. Has had a heck of a career in a Tennessee uniform, and this one sending it out opposite field.
Ooh. 4-year starter. An All-American last year. She's been an All-SEC performer a couple of seasons, and that home run the other night was her 45th. Now top 5 in Tennessee history. Woo. They've had some really good hitters come to town over the years. They've been in the semifinals 4 times. They've played for the national championship twice. Oh, 0-2 pitch, and Gibson whiffs at it. A 1-2-3 inning for Caitlin Terry. And the home run hitting lefty Ramirez is coming up. Loving that rise ball for the 2nd time here at OKC. She goes downtown.
Lefty Ramirez leads off this inning, and tell you what, there is definitely a zone that Lexi likes to come after. Thursday against Oregon, yeah, you got it. Rise ball against Lindsey Grime, by the way, the All-American, and then Pickens up out of the zone. You guys, this is a hard pitch to hit consistently, let alone twice in the World Series. Lefty went upstairs and got it done 2 times against 2 All-American pitchers.
Yeah, those aren't just any rise balls. Those are off of the hands of All-American pitchers. Wow.
And the one in the second inning was a 3-2 pitch from Carlin Pickens. So here they go again to lead off the top of the 4th. I'd win or go home on this Survival Sunday.
I'd go drop ball.
I would definitely go rise ball. This is fun.
Oh, there's
Drop ball.
down in the zone.
Dang it. It's so funny because that's the image. You saw the split screen of Lefty, and in your head as just a hitter, period. It just takes one time to hit a rise ball out of the park, and that's all you remember. Every time you're swinging and missing at that pitch, it's like, but I hit it out.
Jess, I feel like you're talking from experience.
So it's the explanation, okay? Why do you swing at a pitch out of the zone? Because I can hit it out one time, twice, maybe.
Ramirez to the right side. Dodge stays there. Few corkscrewed their legs right into the dirt at home plate like Mendoza did, chasing after those rise balls in her day. Here's Riley Slimp, struck out on an off speed in the second.
Where's that number 29 for Natasha Watley, another Bruin great. Grew up watching her play. It's cool to see the number match because you always see the 2s for the Jeters, but now see the 27s for the Finches and 29 for Tosh.
Winner gets Texas, one of Watley's most memorable moments at the World Series, 2003.
Against number 8.
Scoring against the Longhorns.
Pat Osterman, see a lot of number 8s around.
They won the national championship that year. One of their 12 NCAA titles. They have been at the World Series 33 of 43 years. With 150 games played. That's like 3 whole seasons just here at the World Series.
It's incredible. Opportunity, experience.
That's why it was such a cool moment yesterday when it was 150th game for UCLA, number 2 for Texas Tech in the history of the program.
Under Sharon Backus and Sue Enquist, and now the former player, Calianoy Perez, and a strikeout for Pickens, 2 down. Well, the Women's College World Series Championship Series will get underway on Wednesday. Starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. First of our 2 elimination games today. Coming up at 7 Eastern. Oregon and Oklahoma. And that's on ESPN2 tonight. The Sooners' 8 consecutive wins in elimination games at the World Series. That's Patty Gasso against one of her former assistants, Missy Lombardi. Patty is 63-3 against her former assistants, and Tim Walton of Florida has all 3. As Carlin Pickens is pressing on for a 1-2-3 inning here.
Second time through the lineup. Looking a lot better than she was first time through the lineup, giving up 4 hits. Whoa.
Typical Pickens, just gets better.
Yes.
As the game goes on, gets better as a tournament or series goes on.
And again, I think that all comes back to a little more relaxed, a little more stretched out, not throwing through her spins. I wouldn't say fatigue, but just a little more relaxed.
She does make it look easy. A lot of times when you see a pitcher that throws with velocity, you can see the effort. You can kind of see the grind. For Pickens, because she's so long levered,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable how I don't want to say easy because it's not easy, but for her, it looks easy to throw 76 miles an hour.
You could see it even on her volleyball picture.
Yeah.
Right? Her layup, you could just see, right? It's athletic movement
Live.
through patterns. Yeah, exactly. And she's very efficient through her human movement patterns.
Well, and she's going to need to be if Tennessee's going to keep advancing, because it's going to be hot the rest of the day. It'll be hot tomorrow, where she might have to pitch a lot of innings to try and beat Texas twice if they advance. And she loses Bragg, who draws the walk, second free pass. And a base runner here with 2 outs. UCLA has the go-ahead aboard again. Second inning in a row. Here's where we are at the Women's College World Series. Florida and Ole Miss have gone home. 2 more will depart by the end of the day today. Oregon, Oklahoma coming up next. And the winner of that one will face Texas Tech tomorrow night. The winner of our game here will meet Texas. The Longhorns and Red Raiders needing to win just once to get into the finals. And for both those clubs, seeking a first national championship. In fact, Oklahoma and these UCLA Bruins, the only 2 former champs remaining. Sophia Mojica sent a rise ball out of the park back in the second. To reach. Strikeout number 5, second of the inning for Pickens.
Carlin Pickens continuing to hammer the zone. Takes a pitch on the outer half. That's a drop ball, a little bit elevated, but gets the swing and miss on it. 5th strikeout of the game.
Welcome back to the Women's College World Series. We've got a tight ball game here. Coach from Tennessee, Karen Weekly, and coach, second inning, Carlin Pickens, who's only given up 8 home runs all year, gives up 2. What information do you gather that those were both on the rise ball?
Yeah, I think the one, that we might have thrown a little too much into that hitter's power zone, and then I think the second one, she just missed her spot on it. We need to get a little bit more out of the zone.
How do you kind of power through right now? This is a lull because your hitters got off to a hot start, but not so much lately. What do you want to see?
I just want to see us play with great energy and joy, and that's what I saw take a little bit of a lull that last inning. We've had some good at-bats, and I want us to celebrate good at-bats. If we see 8, 9, 10 pitches, even if we make an out, that's a win. So we need to keep celebrating those things, need to keep having great eye contact, great touching, great smiling, and those things are going to lead to good outcomes. I don't like it when we wait for an outcome to be joyful out here, so we're going to flip that.
Okay, let's touch right now, just so we have some good touching. There we go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Yeah, a couple of strikeouts that last inning against Caitlin Terry for Tennessee. 6, 7, and 8 coming up, and here is the run producer, Laura Mueller, with the 2-run single back in that first inning.
I think they need to joyfully put those boxing gloves on like that in the dugout, right? Sometimes you gotta ring the bell. We used to do that in our dugout. Ding, ding.
Ring the bell?
Yeah, it's a boxing match, right?
There you go.
Okay, it's time to step back out.
Throw the punches, punch to kill. That's their theme for the year. And it's really just about their aggressive mentality to come out swinging. And they did. They did that the first inning. I mean, this has kind of been Tennessee's MO. We kind of documented the first inning, how aggressive they can be, but then keep throwing punches. And I think that's exactly what Karen Weekly is alluding to. You don't stop, especially here at the World Series. We saw them swinging more aggressively earlier in counts. They've been a little bit more patient on their heels the last couple innings.
And a strikeout for Terry. That's 3 straight for her, 1 down.
She's got that great late sharp movement, and she's starting to use that. That's a pitch on the outer half. It bends a little bit. You can see Ramirez has got to go out and get it, but she's got that sneaky lefty spin, and that's really what it's all about. And you can look at the late scoring tends to favor UCLA here at the World Series.
Here's a lot of Leach. Flew out to left her first time up.
Ball.
One of the biggest games of her career against Florida on Friday. Went 2 for 3, drove in 4. She and her sister got the post-game interviews with Holly Rowe.
They were awesome together, too. I mean, just the support that they have.
Oh, Dad's got the solo color on today, the Summit Blues. Right back to the pitcher, Terry. 2 down. Holly Rowe?
Well, the twins are exact identical twins, and I was really struggling in my interview because when you look into their face, you're like, but you look exactly the same. So I have identified Alana has a little mole on her cheek and her eyebrow, so I'm just doing this as a favor. She's number 10, so number 55 does not have the mole on her cheek or eyebrow if you meet them in public. There you go.
That's Gabby.
When they don't have numbers on.
Exactly.
Sometimes a bit of a challenge. We love to run into former players, you know, out and about, but they don't always have their uniforms or their numbers on anymore, and you're like, gosh.
And the hair's down, it's not in a pony.
It's not, yeah. No visor.
No eye black. Blue glittery black, whatever they're wearing.
Emma Clark fouls one off. She had an 11-pitch at-bat her first time up. Ended up grounding out to second base. And a swing and a miss. And a scream from Terry through the mask. She has struck out 4 of the last 5 she's faced. An 11-pitch inning for KT.
How about KT with the rise ball? A 1-2-3 inning. How about 2 of those consecutively, the 3rd and the 4th? Terry smoking.
Well, the night-night from Mojica on that home run. It will be night-night for the season for one of these teams as we get deeper into the day. Win or go home for the Lady Vols and the Bruins, and Terry pops it up, 1 down. 9, and now the top of the order to face Pickens here in the top of the 5th.
How about Pickens giving up 4 hits, first time through the order, second time through the order, did not give up a hit, did surrender 2 walks. Doing a better job of controlling that strike zone. Not leaving the ball in the middle.
Off of the glove of Pickens. Yeah, Clements is aboard, and for the 3rd inning in a row now, UCLA has a chance to take the lead. And it is time for the big 3 to show up. They've been struggling a bit here at the World Series. Pola, Woolery, and Grant coming around. And an opportunity to do some damage. Savvy, a 3rd-team All-American. Coach was talking about how she's been embracing the big moments. They call them Savvy specials. Big moment right here.
Savvy Pola's been really good this year, extra base hits. About 20 doubles on the year.
This would be a good time to wake up the bats. Just 5 for 22 with runners on base. In the dirt. Good block by Nugent. Clements, good speed at first, although neither side has really relied on their speed throughout the season. Victimized by a lot of double plays.
Yeah, in fact, this UCLA team has had 27 double plays turned against them.
Three-two pitch, swing and a miss. 2 down.
Pickens comes back hard and inside, but it's been that changeup she's been working on. Look at the over-the-top rotation to the lefty. She's really using that arm side on this off-speed pitch, and you can see the way that it rotates. It looks like it's a drop ball. It just hangs there, drops off at the end. So when she keeps that pitch around 62 to 64 miles an hour, it has been money for her.
Woolery singled in the first, walked in the third, but unable to advance. They have had just one runner in scoring position today, as Pickens has started to cool off those hitters. And that is inside the base. Fair ball down the line. Clements to third, and Woolery will sneak in behind to second.
I think the biggest goal against going up against these big bats, especially Jordan Woolery, is to not allow her to get extended. But where she's so good and also hits for average, she doesn't get extended on this, but she gets enough of it. She's so strong, barely down the line. This is not hit very hard at all, but perfectly placed. So you see her average in combination with the power.
And Tennessee is not going to pitch to Megan Grant. They will walk her to load the bases with lefty Ramirez coming up, who has a home run on the day.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in, but you know, I kind of agree with it. Grant's been so strong all year long.
Megan Grant's one of the best hitters in the country, period. And that's the smartest move that you could make if you're Tennessee. First base is open. Yes, there's a home run hitter on deck, but she's not the numbers Megan Grant shown all year. But this is what lefty has done in this game. Take it back to the second inning, and you heard Karen Weekly tell Holly Rowe it needs to be even more up out of the zone, because this is the zone that lefty has shown she can capitalize on. Prize ball's above the strike zone. She did just that to put UCLA on the board.
Well, and you got to go back to the Oklahoma game. They chose to pitch to Ella Parker instead of walking her late. Home run, ball game. Now here, they play the averages. They're going to put Grant on and pitch to Ramirez.
And to your point, Beth, another average is that left-handed hitters hit $194 against Pickens. Righties just $151. So again, all those little things add up in big pressure situations.
How about
like
they just
this.
both of them don't hit very well against Pickens too? I mean, that's what just her numbers, 170 and 150. She's been pretty darn good against everybody all year long. Ramirez 5 for 8 with 10 RBIs, 2 walks. The bases loaded.
It's the saying, don't let your opponent's best players beat you. Make someone else step up.
All of the Bruins runs at the World Series have come from home runs. I think we're going to get a pinch runner on out at second base. Lauren Hatch. Woolery can re-enter. Big moment in this one here. Top 5, tie ball game, bases loaded, 2 outs. Ooh. 0-1. Keeping it down in the zone. The home run for Ramirez was off the rise ball. Both of her home runs here in Oklahoma City. And now 1-2.
Ramirez, 10 RBIs, all off singles with the bases loaded.
Davis, and Pickens emotional as she works out of the jam, and UCLA leaves them loaded.
I love the reaction from Carlin Pickens. She gets the batter that hit a home run against her, comes back 75. That tops Pickens' velocity for this one, down in the zone for the strikeout.
The detail, that's one that I had never seen before, with that ball hitting that clump of dirt.
Here's Kinsey Fiedler to face Caitlin Terry, 9 and then the top. Of course, UCLA and Oregon both here, both still in it. Both playing in the Big Ten. The Big Ten has not had a team in the semifinals since 2015, Michigan. The Big Ten has never had 2 teams in the national semifinals. And that Michigan team 20 years ago is the only Big Ten school with a championship. Bruins and Ducks trying to change that today. Fiedler struck out, looking at a curveball her first time up. 6 strikeouts for Terry today. In her second appearance of this World Series, picked up a win on Thursday over the Ducks. And Grant snags that before it gets over the line, 1 down. Hey, our next WNBA game is coming up Tuesday on ESPN. It's the Wings and the Storm at 9:30 Eastern. Coverage tips with the WNBA Countdown crew at 9. Top of the order, and Gabby Leach. Three hits in the first, just 1 since for Tennessee, and now Leach will add to that total, her second of the ball game. And it's Tennessee's turn to get the go-ahead run aboard.
She saw that changeup out of hand up in the zone. We've seen Tennessee just doing a great job. Everything, all their hits have been middle to opposite field. And when you can do that with a changeup, you know that your swing's on plane.
That'll bring up Taylor Pannell. Singled and scored in the first. Pannell gets a charge into it. Deep left and out of here. 2-run shot for Taylor Pannell. And Tennessee's on top.
And Jess, you've been mentioning it all game long, the adjustments, how this Tennessee team is hunting pitches. After Leach gets a base hit on a changeup, Pannell comes up, first pitch swinging and drives a 69-mile-an-hour pitch out of the yard. The game plan has just been meticulous. It has been on point for the Lady Vols. 16th home run of the year for Taylor Pannell.
Beth, you were asking about throwing punches. Where did the boxing gloves go after the first inning? They came right back on, and this is another big, huge punch and blow, 2-run home run for Pannell.
And that's off that rise ball.
Got it done in their first game here against Oklahoma. Did it again, driving in a run against Florida on Friday. And now Pannell, a couple of hits and a 2-run home run to give Tennessee the lead. And UCLA will only have 6 outs left to work with to keep their season alive as KT gets the strikeout. Holly Rowe?
Well, Taylor Pannell admitted to us when we spoke to her this week that she has really struggled in the last couple of weeks. She said, I have just been in my head feeling so much pressure, and I just decided to let it go at the World Series. She was hitting just 250 for the NCAA tournament, but here in Oklahoma City, she is hitting over 500. That is a wonderful example of not letting pressure get to you. She said, I'm just going to turn towards my teammates, and now she's got their backs as well.
Yeah, Holly, in that 250, normally all season long, she's been hitting 391.
Another one the opposite way. This for Sophia Nugent. And a 1-out base runner.
And again, swinging early in the count. First pitch swinging, first pitch home run that's panel hit.
So with 2 outs, Boo Gibson is due up. And Tennessee will get a pinch runner out there for Nugent, who can re-enter. Zoe Schuler. Boo's been hit by a pitch and has struck out. Ramirez keeps it in front.
Yeah, lefty behind the plate.
Boy, the outfield showing Boo plenty of respect. Almost back to the track.
Heels on the dirt.
Gibson with those 12 home runs.
One missed outside. Cam Ellison behind the plate. Chelsea Clark, John Bacca, Chris Neighbors. Our crew today. First of our 2 elimination games. Oregon, Oklahoma coming up tonight. The winners are into the semifinals.
Big swing by Boo Gibson. 3-1 count. I love that she's aggressive on that.
Karen Wheatley talked about energy and joy in this game, to be able to celebrate those small things, to start getting back to attacking early. It was kind of a lull for a few innings in the middle of this game, and it's back here for the Vols.
Waits on the change and drives it right back up the middle. Schuler to third. She'll slide in safely. And the throw to second, not in time to get Boo.
Hit, changeup left elevated, and how about the speed? Zoe Schuler into this game, gets all the way to third base, close play at second.
The call on the field is safe at second base. UCLA would like to challenge that.
So UCLA challenging the call of safe. They'll need video evidence to change it. That angle looks safe. Let's see about this one.
Good job, by the way, by Savvy Pola.
Yeah.
Our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell, eyeballing it. Christy?
That's a really close call. We're going to have indisputable evidence that the runner was tagged out prior to getting to the base. In my opinion, we don't have that here. I think it's really close. It's going to be too close to flip, I think.
It's almost, if she touches that front of the bag, though, you look at right there.
Yeah.
There, she's, but yeah, Christy's right. I mean, that's bang, bang. Call is safe.
And her foot stays on the base. Sometimes that foot will pop up and off.
It's such a great look, too, for Savvy Pola, the second baseman, that she's giving that back end of the bag. We've seen so much obstruction calls. Beautiful job to do everything she can.
Yeah, they call that leading edge, making sure her foot's not in the way.
That's, it looks like Kelly Eyes on the headset. Addison Fisher just ran down to the bullpen for UCLA.
Sometimes you can use this.
After review, the call at second base will be upheld. The runner is safe at second base. This is UCLA's first challenge.
I like Kelly I, though, making that challenge. Such a close
100%.
play. 2 outs here, late in game.
It breaks the momentum of Lady Vols. It gives her pitchers in the pen a little more time to warm up or get down there, depending on the situation.
There is Fisher, the freshman, loosening up. Tennessee now 4 of 8 with 2 outs today. And the pinch runner is Amanda Allen out at second. Gibson can re-enter. And Laura Mueller will try and pad the lead. Laura drove in a pair with a single in the first.
After they intentionally walked Boo Gibson, which, by the way, if you feel pressure at the World Series, go ahead and add, we want to walk her to get to you, to the list of things that you're feeling here in Oklahoma City. And Mueller stepped up in a huge way.
We've seen 2 intentional walks, 1 for each side. Tennessee cashed theirs in, UCLA did not. And the offense, well, today doing some similar things to what they did the other night against Florida. Oh, shit! And then hit the umpire. Cam Allison will walk that off.
Right in the chest. With the chest protector, that's a good 70-mile-an-hour foul tip.
Yeah.
Look, Karen Weekly coming out and giving water.
That away, coach. So important what the men and women in blue do for the game. Ellison will stay back there. Mueller will step in. 1-2 pitch from Terry. Ball. Foul, another one off.
I remember the situation last night where Texas Tech sold home Ramirez, I'm sure, every time now. A runner at third, checking that.
Yep.
Runner making sure she's not coming down the line or getting back.
Mueller grounds it to Pola at second. And UCLA gets out of it, but a couple of runs on the board for Tennessee to take the lead.
Taylor Panel led this team all season long in big hits and RBIs and slug, but none bigger this season. This is her 6th hit in 3 games for the Lady Vols, and it puts them up 2 more runs, head to the top of the 6th.
Here's your line score as we head to the top of the 6th. Tennessee leading UCLA 4-2. Must win for both these clubs, and those events of the infield fly rule in the first looming large. Infield fly is called on the play. Jessica Clemens has several options here. Could have stayed at second. Since she was never tagged, could have stayed at third. And if she just happenstance had touched home plate on the way back to the dugout, that would have been a run. But once she goes into that dugout, that ends up being the 3rd out of the inning.
And that's looming large, because that's 2 runners that were on base with 1 out in the first inning. What felt like the UCLA with the big bats coming up, something was going to happen. Ends up ending the inning with the double play.
That was a missed opportunity. So was the 5th inning when they had the bases loaded and could not score. And Pickens went down after the pitch.
shoulder, ankle, that front ankle, left ankle when she comes forward.
Yeah, it's actually the step out of the circle. Ouch. Big moment for Tennessee to make sure she's okay.
And she releases part of her energy when that plant leg goes down. So for her, it's that left leg, that left foot. She kind of hops up to disengage from the earth to release a little more energy and then comes back down again.
She's got super ligaments.
She might have toe picked herself on her back cleat of her left onto her right foot.
Good to see her laughing there, so apparently she's okay.
Yes.
Facing Riley Slimp, 6'7", 8".
That's impressive that her ankle could literally touch the ground like that, and then she's like, all right, I'm good to go.
Yeah. Flexibility.
Superhuman feature of Carlin Pickens.
Same situation as Thursday night against Oklahoma. If she can get 3 outs here, she might not have to face Grant and Woolery in the 7th inning.
Well, and to your point, Beth, against Oklahoma, she offered up a lot of free passes late in the game. In fact, 3 of the last 4 innings walked the leadoff batter. Her walks in this game happen to be with 2 outs.
Could possibly go 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2. 75 miles an hour, slinging it.
I think what I've enjoyed watching Pickens the last few weeks is postseason Pickens brings up another level of emotion. The way she can lock in, the fist pumps. Her teammates feed off of that.
Sage Margetko did hustle out to the bullpen for Tennessee just in case. She came on in relief against UCLA on the regular season, gave up a home run, which proved to be the game winner. Ground ball to second, one away. Margetko does have an appearance already. She threw the other day against Florida. She got a win against Ohio State in the regional.
Well, and these two programs use their pitching staffs very different. Obviously, Pickens is the ace, but as you mentioned, Margetko, 95 innings on the year. They also have Aaron Newer.
Yep.
You look at UCLA, they've got 3 pitchers with over 100 innings pitched, so a little bit different philosophy.
I mean, UCLA has co-aces really in KT and Taylor Tinsley. Freshman phenom, Addison Fisher.
Yeah, Addison's gotten a lot of throwing time for a freshman this year.
In for a strike to Kanaya Bragg. Homered off of Texas Tech and Najee Kennedy yesterday.
Yeah, she went upstairs too. That was a rise ball.
Some smoke.
That's what you think about too. If I'm UCLA, it's like, okay, we just faced one of the best with velocity and changeup. Use that to your advantage against Pickens.
From the rise ball down to the drop. And Sophia Nugent, we were talking to her, the catcher, the other day. Wondering if there's any extra padding in that glove. She said, absolutely, I got the pickpocket. Got an extra batting glove with some pads in it inside the catcher's mitt. Bragg trying to get something going for the Bruins. Full count. Back up the middle. Snagged by Miller. Tried to pitch it to Dodge to get over to first, but a base runner with 1 out for UCLA and the tying run to the plate.
This is base hit all the way. Laura Mueller, just superwoman, comes into the screen there, knows it. She can't get up quick enough, tries to flip it over to Dodge.
Pretty good for Bragg, something to brag about, being able to hit a home run off of
Nyjah Kennedy.
And now base hit up the middle off of Carlin Pickens, two of the hardest throwers in the game.
Especially with 2 strikes.
Some of the Bruin Brain Trust getting together to discuss something here. They want a pinch runner. Mojica's coming up. We've talked about the double plays. This would be a bad time for UCLA because with this hit now, they are starting to stretch out the lineup to give their big bats a better chance to come up. And they will go for speed at first. Taylor Stevens. Mojica homered back in the second. Another one here ties the game. Backhanded by Gibson. They go to second to get the lead runner. 2 down.
Well, that's a really good job by Gibson to finish this play after the ball pops out of her glove. No panic. She knows she needs to pick it up and get the lead runner. So pops out. She picks it up. Ella Dodge has to wait a little bit, cannot go to first base for a potential double play because she needs to make sure that Gibson is able to keep that ball with her. So lead runner out.
Here's Caitlin Terry looking for her first hit of the World Series. Does have a home run in the postseason.
You don't see a lot of hitting pitchers that can also short game. She'll slap about 70% of the time right now, standing in to hit.
UCLA today 2 for 9 with a runner on base. Pickens fires to first, and Gibson can't haul it in. The runner safe at third, and they're on the corners with 2 outs for the top of the order. Karen Wigley wants to know if there was some interference with the base runner down the line.
Yeah, I want to know if she was in the runner's lane, which she clearly looks like she is. She's got, oh, and she kind of did bow out a little bit at the end. So she looked like she was in the runner's lane and then came out.
Oh, that hits her.
Yep. You're supposed to stay in the lane until you come in front of the bag to be able to touch the bag.
The call on the field is the runner is safe with no runner interference. Tennessee would like to challenge that.
So we will go back to our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell, for some clarification here.
Okay, so by rule, the runner has to stay in the running lane and cannot interfere with the throw at first base. You can see when she gets hit right here, her foot, left foot is on the ground outside of the running lane. We should come back with a batter interference on this.
And she's in the lane and then actually comes out, and some runners are actually taught run toward the glove.
You are taught to do that. To do exactly what happened is you look at the glove and you run towards it so that it gets your body in between the glove and the throw.
This is yet another reason why we do need the second bag. Safety base.
Yeah, this last step is definitely inside the line.
Yeah, it's very clear. Both steps, to be honest, both feet end up out of the runner's lane.
So that would be an out if they change the call here, and it would be the 3rd out of the inning.
Well, I do think if it wouldn't have hit KT, Gibson would have caught it and she would have been out.
I mean, it was a good play for Carlin Pickens to just get to this, get the throw off. Nothing she can do about the runner being in the way.
This is another big swing right here because it's the top of the order with runners on first and third. Unless they reverse it.
After review, the call on the field has been changed to runner interference. That is the third out of the inning. That is Tennessee's first challenge.
So the challenge goes Tennessee's way, and they maintain the 4-2 advantage to the bottom of the sixth.
Places, but had the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones.
The drama and the joy and the nail biting of the greatest show on dirt on an elimination Sunday at the Women's College World Series. A 4-2 Tennessee lead over UCLA as we head to the bottom of the sixth. So the Lady Vols will pick up the bats here and then are 3 outs away from advancing to the semifinals. The Bruins will have one more chance with the top of their lineup in the 7th inning. So their big hitting duo of Jordan Woolery and Megan Grant could both get a shot at it. Here's Caitlin Terry working against Alana Leach. It's 7, 8, 9 for the Lady Vols. Couple of runs in the first on a 2-run single from Laura Mueller, and then 2 more in the 5th on Taylor Panels' 2-run home run.
Carlin Pickens talking about how she rolled that ankle. We saw her run out to the bullpen, I think, just to kind of make sure everything was okay. It's good
Last
that
time
she
we
can
saw
laugh
her in
about
this
it.
position, she went for the extra pickle, but this may be an ice bag. Let's see. And that hits Leach. Base runner with nobody out.
Trying to come inside with that little bit of a rise ball, bend it back to the back half of the plate. Gets Leach on the arm.
That is the first time a leadoff has been aboard today for Tennessee. And we have a pitching change. Caitlin Terry departs. Taylor Tinsley coming on. Back in a moment. Terry will stay in the game out in right field as Tinsley comes on to pitch here for UCLA, and a 4-2 lead for Tennessee late in this one, win or go home. Beth Mullins alongside Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith. Taylor Panel swinging a big bat here at the World Series.
It's been so impressive to see because we've seen that from so many athletes where they struggle when they get to the postseason, and now her 6th hit in just 3 games.
Yeah, and I think it's just so important for clubs to continue to put runs up throughout the game. We're seeing that. We're seeing people step up all through the lineup.
And her home run right now stands as the game winner, and Carlin Pickens will try and come back in the 7th inning to take care of business.
Yeah, well, Pickens has looked good. I think she's done a good job of slowing that changeup down. That's been important, Jess.
Yeah, well, especially being able to keep them off balance, because this UCLA team, we saw the 2 home runs already. Think about that. She's given up, but they were both solo shots because she hasn't given up the free pass before that. Huge for Pickens.
Now this is big right here for Tinsley to keep this at a 2-run game, because her big bats will come up in the next inning. As Emma Clark considers the sacrifice.
Well, that just shows with Coach Weekly calling for a sacrifice how important it is to get those extra runs up on the board. And we've seen it all season long. No lead is safe.
Walk-offs all over the place. And then late inning heroics.
Clark having a hard time against Tinsley getting that sacrifice down. 2 foul balls, attempts on rise balls up and out of the zone.
Tinsley started yesterday, took the loss against Texas Tech, the junior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. 3rd team All-American this year. All Big Ten team as well.
It's one of the best change-ups that you're going to see here in Oklahoma City. We talk a lot of the aces, the velocity and the spins, but for Tinsley, it's that change-up. Throw it about 14% of the time, but in the postseason, it's been up towards 30%.
Well, and she throws it for a strike over 85% of the time when she does use it. Impressive.
Clark out to left center, and on the move is Clements. 1 down. Looks like we got a pinch hitter coming on here for Tennessee. Savia Morgan will hit in the 9 spot. Has a hit already in the World Series. Went 1 for 3 in a start against OU.
A lot of speed. Does a good job of being able to hit to all fields, and Karen Winkley has utilized her a lot late in game, usually for her defense. I imagine she's going to come in for Fiedler right now and then stay in the top of the 7th in the outfield.
This is the first of our 2 games today. Elimination game coming up tonight on ESPN2. Oregon and Oklahoma, the Sooners, winners of the last 4 national championships, but a loss at the hands of Texas yesterday has them on the ropes.
A long meeting right now, too, from Kelly Inouye Perez. I'm surprised they haven't broken it up yet. I'm talking to a lot of different players. I mean, they had the whole outfield in there.
Sure, it's not just about Morgan, it's about Leach, Panel, and Dodge. A lot of activity on 1, 2, and 3 for Tennessee. There's hitters in the lineup. Morgan trying to roll it over.
Corners are in, outfielders are in. Morgan primarily a slapper, but did start to swing away as the season progressed.
Well, it's interesting throwing to a slapper. If you look at the defensive range, look how big the 5-6 hole is.
Yeah.
Usually see the shift. Shortstop Bragg pulled over, but no, it's up the middle because of the runner at first. I'm Morgan. I'm thinking, okay, thank you. You give me anything that I can get inside out, I'm going to poke it through that left side.
And they're pitching her to the outer half, too, which means it plays into that positioning.
One and two.
A lot of times with a short game like this up, you'll see the shortstop pulled over, and second base will actually cover second for the steal.
Ball.
And I think that was why Kelly Inouye Perez's meeting was so long. Is, hey, this is how we're going to shift this. This is where you're going to be. This is what we're going to pitch.
Well, her first swings were swinging away, not slapping. Sends one that way, and back goes Slint to make the catch. That'll chase Leach back to first, 2 down. Gabby Leach coming up for the 4th time. She's got a couple of hits today.
Gabby's been aggressive, swinging first pitch, quite a few of her at-bats.
Checks it to second, Pola with the scoop. So here we go to the 7th inning. Winner go home for the 12-time national champs. They've got the top of the order. Is there more Bruin dramatics headed our way in Oklahoma City?
This is what postseason softball is all about.
Jordan Woolry. And the Bruins find a way! UCLA says we're not done. We're playing game 3.
In the air to center. That's hit well by Clements. It's gone!
She just did that on the biggest stage in college softball for her team.
They've already walked off a couple of big ones, and during the break, an extensive meeting. Kelly Inoy Perez with her entire team outside of the dugout talking about one more chance to extend their season. Down 2 into the top of the 7th, top of the order. And the next 3 coming up have 4 of UCLA's 7 hits today. And on the other side is the All-American ace, Carlin Pickens. Tennessee 26-1 when leading after the 6th inning. The only loss Thursday night against Oklahoma. Popped up and turning to make the catch on the grass is Mueller, 1 down. The next 2 up are their top 2 hitters. Both over 400 on the season. Trying to live to play another day for these seniors. Here's Savvy Pola.
We saw the Jordan Woolery home run to extend their season. Game 2 in Supers. It was Savvy Pola that was up with 2 outs to extend the game with a base hit to get to that Woolery moment.
Pickens over 100 pitches now on the day. Winner will play Texas tomorrow. Longhorns needing just 1 win to advance to the championship series. The winner here would need to win twice tomorrow.
Ball.
3-1. Gibson at first, 2 down. And it will come down to Jordan Woolery. She had the game-winning home run against Tennessee during their regular season matchup. The first team All-American. Stepping in against Pickens. First one's away.
When they have everybody back, outfield is deep, infield is to the very back of the dirt. Understanding 2 outs, they can play her as deep as possible.
Woolery passes the bat. They'll hold her to a long single, but it will bring the tying run to the plate for Megan Grant, who has tied the Big Ten home run single season record this year with 25 of them. Looking for her first hit of the World Series. Grant, first pitch swinging, and she sends it out, and UCLA ties it up with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The 2 that have been doing it all year
this has been the story. So much throughout UCLA's lineup, so many different things, but at the end of the day, those two, their friendship, knowing each other since 8th grade, hitting back-to-back all season long. And Megan Grant, after Woolery gets on, extends this inning, ties this game. Grant up in the zone, hits it out of here, no doubter, and we are all tied up here in the 7th.
First pitch swinging, rise ball up in the zone. All 3 home runs given up by Pickens today have been rise balls, just left upstairs at the top part of that zone and bashed out of the park.
Tennessee has apparently asked the umpires to check to make sure that Megan Grant touched home plate. Did her teammates, you're not supposed to touch the base runner until they make it home.
She's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's home plate. I mean, you're trained.
Now they make her go back to touch it. Did she overstep it when she put her foot down?
Looked like she got it. I mean, she didn't even want to go back and touch it.
My goodness. Wow.
Oh, this happened in the '96 Olympics.
Yes, it did. And there you see again, her teammate there, Ramirez, makes her go back to touch the base. You know, now sometimes that's a just to make sure, but did Lefty see something?
The last play is under umpire review for the runner missing home plate and being assisted.
All right, let's bring in our rules analyst, Christy Cornwell. Christy?
So they're looking at 2 elements here. One is whether or not the runner touched home plate on her initial pass. It looks to me like she may have missed it. And then the second issue is whether or not she was physically assisted by her teammates. However, the rule specifies they can't be physically assisted by a runner who has not yet crossed the plate. So this is going to be a tough interpretation for the replay officials.
Look, it makes her go back and then touch it.
And that is Ramirez who helped her back, not Woolery who scored in front of her. So Christy Cornwell, would she be out then if she missed home plate or was assisted back?
If she was physically assisted by someone who had not yet crossed the plate, yes, she would be out.
Wow. My goodness. As it stands, safe at home, tie game. And there are 2 outs.
And she's so excited.
Look at,
yeah, Ramirez immediately says, hey, come back. Number 28 in blue.
Yeah, her head's up. She's looking at her teammate. She's not even looking at the plate.
Oh, man. This
And
would
it's
be
authoritative
City.
stomp too, but she was looking up, and if she does end up touching home plate, it's the assist that the rule book is going to be challenged with now. Oh, but I mean, to have that moment, that hit, that home run, and then something.
Yeah, well, that's how Team USA, we lost to Australia in the '96 Olympics on this exact same situation, where one of our teammates stepped over, did not touch home plate, stepped over, was called out.
With 2 outs, Jordan Woolery singled. Then Megan Grant hit the 2-run home run. And, I mean, Tennessee's got the rule book out, too, on the base running section, Rule 12. As the conversation with the review folks continues. So if she missed it, she can step back on it, or Woolery could help her to step back on it. But not anybody else.
Correct. According to Christy Como, the way it states in the book. Yeah, and immediately you could see she's pointing right at it. Ramirez is pointing right at it, saying,
She was
you missed
looking.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a catcher for you, right? Because you're trained as a catcher to make sure that your opponent
hits home plate.
Hit home plate, right? And so she's used to looking for herself.
I mean, it's already been a wacky day. They were involved in an infield fly rule in the 1st, the runner interference call in the 6th.
Yeah, they've had 3 mental miscues that have cost them outs and ultimately runs. But this one's so hard just because I love this moment for Megan Grant. She did everything you dream of as a hitter. And you don't dream of hitting home plate. I mean, it's all the other things that she did.
Well, just having this conversation is one heck of a pickup for the Tennessee dugout.
100%.
Well, I do think Ramirez pulling her back made it very obvious. Too. And she grabbed her and said, come back.
A lengthy delay at the Women's College World Series. That's in the replay room. Safe at home is the call, and it extends the game. If they reverse it, it's the 3rd out of the inning. It's the end of the game. It's the end of the season for UCLA.
Well, I have a question. Like, is there any chance that they could still call her safe?
Let's bring in Christy.
So the rule book is actually silent on whether or not she's touched by people that are in the dugout. And so I think that's what the deliberation is. If she's touched by someone that's on the field, they could just give a team warning and keep the ball live and the run could still score. So there are a lot of different elements because there's so many people gathered around the plate here. It's just really difficult to sort out.
But there is I guess, an area of the rule book that can still be left subjective.
Well, because Ramirez would be
on deck,
I suppose, considered a player on the field because she's on deck.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why there are some head coaches that will not let the team celebrate around home plate. They will make you come toward the dugout to greet your team. But it's hard. You're at the World Series, the emotion, the passion.
You gotta be there.
Yeah,
just, I mean, and I've been there. Like, I can't wait to get home, and I'm looking all my teammates in the eye. But you just, that's the most important, is that 4th base. Tennessee now come off the field, probably because it's so
I think
hot
they're
out
getting
there.
some water.
Yeah.
I mean, first and foremost, you hate to see anything end on a technicality.
Oh, for sure.
And what is such a huge moment for Megan Grant and UCLA.
Well, I know Tennessee doesn't believe this, and Tennessee fans won't believe this, but anyone who's a softball fan, they're going to want this for Megan Grant. Like, I mean, she ultimately didn't do anything wrong. I mean, she came back, touched home plate. Her teammate had her back, said, hey, don't forget. It wasn't like she was in the dugout running back out.
But the question is if Ramirez would not have pushed her back and said, get on the plate, she probably would have continued to the dugout.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can't
To
trim
end
this
your,
up.
End your season
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah. And seniors collegiate
Apparently
careers.
there's some gray area around the phrase in the rule book. Offensive team personnel other than base coaches and base runners shall not touch a runner until the runner contacts home plate.
They shall congregate only in foul territory around home plate. Which they did until she missed.
For those of you just joining us, this is the potential game-tying run that Megan Grant appears to overstep home plate and then is assisted back to touch home plate by another Bruin who was not scoring in front of her on a 2-run home run.
And by the way, for those tuning in, this moment with 2 outs, her counterpart, Jordan Woolery, gets a base hit to get on base, and Megan Grant, the two of them have been their offense. More RBIs combined than any other duo. The moment was unbelievable.
Here is the assist to go back to touch home plate by lefty Ramirez, who is the on-deck hitter. And so apparently there's discussions in the review room about whether it's a teammate that's on the field, whether there is the possibility that it is just issuing a warning to the team.
Well, and I've seen this happen before where a warning has been issued and not an out. And I think that's what they're trying to decide right now, is what is the consequence.
Well, we may have it right here. Call's coming in. Megan Grant, the home run hitter, was just there on your right.
Oh my gosh, this anticipation, are you kidding me?
I know, it's killing me.
Now they're discussing.
Call is safe at home, tie game. Will it be reversed and give Tennessee the win?
After review, the calling on the field is upheld, and the run will score. The runner did miss home plate and was assisted. However, that play is not reviewable according to Appendix G.
Wow.
They went into the weeds.
Wow, Appendix G is being Googled by softball fans worldwide.
And the terminology on this is going to be so important.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Appendix G is the video review section of the rule book.
And they admitted that she missed home plate and was assisted. But they did not see it live. They only see it on review. So if it's not reviewable,
so Tennessee still talking about it. The umpires are still talking about it.
well, Karen Weekly is heated, understandably so. They're given the explanation that she misses home plate, that all the things that you call are accurate, and now Appendix G is going back to really just a lot of vagueness. But I mean, honestly, for this moment, I can't emphasize enough. you know, for the game, you don't want it to end that way, and they're trying to figure out that they are absolutely right.
Well, and I'm sure that...
Oh, and it sounds like Tennessee has now filed a protest.
Yeah.
And she is heated. This is a new one in our 20 years together here at the World Series. I mean, as we talked about it, we've seen it before at the Olympic Games. There doesn't appear to be anything in Appendix G to talk about missing home plate and being assisted back as reviewable. So the home run ball delivered to the Grants, and after all that, there is the third out of the inning. And oh, by the way, Tennessee can take care of it on their own in the bottom of the 7th. And a walk-off opportunity for the Lady Vols. Survival Sunday, taking us on a wild ride. The Megan Grant 2-run home run stands in the top of the 7th. We were also told during the break, since that play was not reviewable, that Tennessee cannot file a protest. So it is game on in the bottom of the 7th. And Tennessee has the heart of the order coming up and a chance to walk it off and win it. Two teams trying to extend their seasons and get into the national semifinals with Texas tomorrow. Panel, Dodge, and Nugent coming up. Taylor hit a 2-run home run her last time up. That was off of the starter, Caitlin Terry. Now, the heart of the order deals with Taylor Tinsley. Change up in for a strike. The Tennessee Bats, can they pick up Carlin Pickens, who has been their stud all season long? Home runs in the 7th inning to Oklahoma and now UCLA. And can the Lady Vol hitters get it done?
Well, back in the 5th inning, the reason why they've got 4 runs is this 2-run shot. Back in the 5th, Gabby Leach was on base. The Vols doing one of their own. Huge moment was to take the lead.
When we talked about it earlier, this is where Tennessee needs to put on the boxing gloves, keep throwing punches. They just got smacked in the face. Time to respond.
Karen Weekly telling us what a professional hitter Taylor Panel is. Sometimes puts a little too much pressure on herself, but she has let that go here at the World Series, has been tearing the cover off the ball. In the dirt from Tinsley, full count.
3 hits against Sam Landry, 2 hits in this one. Previously against Caitlin Terry. Stage is bigger. She has been the best for the Vols.
Had a walk-off home run against Washington in 2013. A team that went on to play for the national championship. Our studio analyst, Madison Shipman, was there. Panel sends it deep down the line. Foul ball. Wow. Inches away from ending it. Just out in front.
75 miles an hour off the bat. Barely foul.
And instead we'll take the walk. And the game winner is aboard with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. And it's Ella Dodge. 1 for 3 today, but she has had the clutchness gene of late, including 2 homers against Jordy Ball, and will lay down the sacrifice here to advance panel into scoring position.
A good job by Tennessee to get that runner into scoring position, and then the defense for UCLA to get that out.
And now the Bruins, can they rely on an earned run average from their pitching staff that's top 10 in the country, a fielding percentage that's top 10 in the country? The pinch runner is Katie Taylor. And the batter is Sophia Nugent. A hit in all 3 games for Tennessee. Oh, they're going to walk her.
Wow. Trying to set up the forced in bag. Boo Gibson coming up, who is right-handed.
So they did this to Boo Gibson back in the 1st, and Laura Mueller hurt him with a 2-run single. They will try it again here in the bottom of the 7th, and this time it'll be Gibson coming up unless they choose to also walk her to load him up.
Yeah, and in this situation, putting a runner on doesn't hurt you because it's the lead runner, obviously, that loses the game for you. It's always a different philosophy if you're the home team or the visiting team.
Yeah.
And now the Bruins will gather, and let's see what they do with McKenna Gibson. Known to one and all as Boo, because when she was a youngster, she looked like the character from Monsters, Inc. And a monster moment right here.
How about these 3 seniors in a row for Tennessee? Nugent, Gibson, Mueller, all trying to extend their season.
Outfield way in. Anything hit hard is going to win this game.
Gibson gloved at 3rd, and the double play for UCLA to get out of it. Woolery to Pola. And that top 10 fielding percentage nails, and we are going extra.
This is a UCLA team that does not turn a lot of double plays. Great defensively, but this is just the 14th of the year. None bigger. Woolery to Pola, inning over.
Back here at the Women's College World Series on a Survival Sunday, and the UCLA Bruins with some late game heroics at the plate and with the glove knot this thing up at 4 apiece as we head to extra innings. Megan Grant, the 2-run home run in the top of the 7th, and then Jordan Woolery, the double play in the bottom of the 7th to end the Tennessee threat. 6, 7, 8 will come up to face Carlin Pickens. No international runner at second base rule here at the World Series. Karen Weekly has talked about resilience, has talked about bouncing back. Tennessee's got to call on that reserve here. See if they can swing the momentum back to their side. Megan Grant's home run, her first hit of the tournament here in Oklahoma City. Riley has struck out a couple of times, grounded out to second. Pitch count up to 112 for Pickens, but she had the day off yesterday and only threw 23 pitches in the Florida win the day before. And if you want to go out there and try and take the ball away from her, good luck with that.
I talked a lot about it when it was taken away from her against UCLA back in February. Karen talked a lot about that at the meetings.
Said she learned her lesson.
Absolutely. It's Carlin's game to finish.
She was pulled out of the game with the lead. Tennessee lost it after that. Ground ball to Gibson, one down.
You know, Carlin Pickens, with all that velocity, the 7 strikeouts, has been using the zone. She's not afraid to use the heart of it, the changeup in the high to mid 60s. It's the velocity in the 70 miles an hour. And you can see the majority of her pitches are through the zone. 75 miles an hour on a drop on the outer half to get out of a jam, but it's been the 3 rise balls that have come back to hurt her. 4 earned runs given up, 7 strikeouts. Ball. Through 7+ innings of pitching.
The 3 homers, a career high. Remember, she only had, what, 5 the entire regular season and through the SEC tournament? She has been throwing an awful lot in the postseason to carry Tennessee.
Still getting to 75 miles an hour. Can we just note that here in extra innings?
And I'm actually surprised she's not throwing more down in the zone. That last pitch had 6 inches of vertical break downward. It's the rise ball. That pitch that when she throws that, that's really the pitch that's gotten hit out of the park. She needs to throw that for a ball 6 inches out of the zone above the hitter's head. And if they're going to strike out, let them strike themselves out.
She just threw her 270th pitch of this World Series because she went the distance on Thursday against OU. And now a 3-1 count to Kanaya Bragg, the freshman shortstop.
And just consistently hitting a mark that you're not going to see another pitcher in college softball hit, pitch after pitch. And I get the 68 for the rise and the 58 for the changeup, but when 75's at the top, that's a whole lot to think about as a hitter.
Rolls towards Dodge. 2 down.
And how about Ella Dodge, that energy? That's the reason why she is playing second base right now. Karen Weekly said, I needed that energy. Brought her in mid-season. She's been a spark plug for them.
Two runs in the second for UCLA, a pair of solo home runs, the 2-run homer in the 7th. All 9 of their runs here at the World Series, long balls.
Sophia Mahica actually has the CIF record for home runs with 60. And the CIF, that's Southern California. I mean, there's Stacy Newman. You think of all the big bashers coming out.
Well, the 3 home runs today put this Bruin club over the century mark, so 101 home runs on the year for UCLA. I mean, they have used the long ball a lot this year.
That's probably why Carlin pitched 2 pitches under the kneecaps. Try to hit these ones out. Staying down in the zone.
She just keeps coming at you. Short memory in that circle, right, Smitty?
Oh, absolutely. People ask, what's the most important pitch? Next pitch coming.
And she induces a ground out with that next pitch. How about the bottom of the Tennessee order? You got next. Extra innings because of this. In the 7th, Megan Grant with a runner on, down a couple, and she goes yard. But then apparently missed home plate, and it went to review, and this is how it played out.
After review, the calling on the field is upheld, and the run will score.
Tennessee didn't like it. Megan Grant did. And it's 4-4 into the bottom of the 8th for a spot in the national semifinals. The loser is out. And Grant and this UCLA defense behind Taylor Tinsley will deal with 6, 7, and 8 as the Lady Vols have a second chance to walk it off. Mueller singled back in the first.
She's got 2 of the 4 RBIs. That was a huge hit. Can't understate that enough in the first inning after being intentionally walked. Boo Gibson to get to her.
Hitting over 500 in the NCAA tournament, closer to 600. In for a strike from Tinsley. This ball game inching closer to 3 hours. And some scorching heat today at Oklahoma City.
But the fans have stayed. I mean, this game has been amazing. I mean, it started with action from Tennessee in the very first inning. UCLA responding, Tennessee punching back. Then that big moment from Megan Grant.
They had a couple base runners in the bottom of the 7th, trying to get one here on the 8th.
This is what Tennessee does. We had them in the super regionals. A big part of their game is get to 2 strikes and just foul off and waste. If you do not like a pitch, but it's close enough, foul it off, try to get something that you can hit.
Mueller, ground ball to short, snagged by Bragg, 1 down.
A huge out for a couple of 3-2 pitches. Wow.
Freshman solid at short. She replaced Alina Garcia, who got injured back in early March. And here's Alana Leach. Got hit by a pitch last time up. 0 for 2.
And this is where Taylor Tinsley is just so good for UCLA coming into today's game. Just 20 walks on the year and 134 plus innings. I mean, she is not going to put you on. We saw the intentional walk, a couple of them last inning, but you got to earn your way on. And with that really good defense behind her, especially in this lower part of the order for Tennessee, they're going to have to string some stuff together.
Bragg again. Busy at short, 2 down. UCLA gets the out here, they'd have 9, and then the top of the order coming back up in the 9th inning. Emma Clark's 0 for 3. Oh, 2 to Clark. Just off the edge.
Tinsley is so good. Pitch prior, same pitch, but it was about 8 inches off of the plate, so she really expands the zone. Then she'll nibble back in and try to get that call. That's a really good take by Clark. Close pitch. That's some excellent execution.
Clark hanging in there.
Remember, she had a 11 pitch at bat in this game. Especially at the bottom of this order, they can kind of go 3/4 swing. And when you're facing a changeup pitcher especially, you want to be late. You'll be able to see the ball as long as you can.
Clark pops it up, and it's dropped by Bragg. A miscommunication with Bragg and Pola. And a window of opportunity opens for the Lady Vols.
Well, and you mentioned it, this is a UCLA team that does not make a lot of errors, just 38 errors on the year. In fact, Bragg has just 5 errors on the year. This is all about communication. This isn't fundamentals. It's just not communicating, bumping into each other, seeing each other off the heel of the glove and down on the ground.
Bragg and Pola both calling for it. Pola rolled off late, but Bragg absolutely saw her. When you hear footsteps, feel footsteps, you take your eye off the ball for a split second. That's why you end up dropping it. It's hard. We've seen it twice now. Right in center field for UCLA, both calling it as well. Ended up making the catch, but it's loud. This is the kind of fans you're never going to get in another stadium. 10,000 plus.
So Savia Morgan will hit for the 2nd time. She was the first one to face Tinsley back in the 6th inning. She was swinging away in that last at-bat, despite the big hole on the left side of the infield. It looked like a slap opportunity on that first pitch this time.
Well, and this is what you're talking about right there, Beth, that wide open 5-6 hole.
And she'll yank that back up the middle. Runner turns and heads for 3rd. And the game winner is 60 feet away as Clark legs it out. And the 2-out rally, boosted by an error, has Tennessee on the brink. Clutch from Morgan, and she'll pass the bat to a Leach sister at the top. Here comes Gabby. Two for 4 with a couple singles. Swing and a miss at 69 miles an hour from Tinsley.
Does a great job. She just hits those corners so good.
They did it 12 years ago. They have 4 hits on the day with 2 outs.
You hear Gabby Leach saying no. Pitch out of the zone.
Gabby Leach, a hitter that was at the bottom of this order for most of the year, and then Karen Weekly moved her up to this leadoff spot. And she has caught fire, second highest on the team in this tournament.
One of 4 sisters to play for Big Orange. Flares that out to left, and Slimp is there, and that ends the threat. Going to the 9th. Top of the order coming around for UCLA. Survival Sunday at the Women's College World Series. We knew you loved it so much, we wanted to give you more. Extra innings for a spot in the national semifinals. UCLA and Tennessee, not quite night-night yet. Megan Grant, a 2-run home run in the top of the 7th inning, ties the game. And at the Women's College World Series, we are headed to top 9. And it is 9-1-2 due up. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe. Our entire crew bringing you the sights and sounds. And it's Caitlin Terry, the starting pitcher, stays in the lineup to hit.
She's going to channel her mom, Christy Hull, who's a ACC Freshman of the Year, a great hitter, one of their all-time hits leaders, top 10 from Florida State. Try to get on base.
Facing Carlin Pickens, whose pitch count is approaching 130. And when the top of the order comes up next, Jessica Clements will face her for the 5th time today. Seven strikeouts for Carlin Pickens, but none in the last 3 innings. UCLA has hit 3 home runs today. 2 solos in the 2nd, and then the Grant shot in the 7th.
All those pitches off the rise ball last inning comes out, rolls 3 consecutive ground balls. In fact, the last 4 outs have been ground balls to the right side, using more of that drop ball.
You got to remember, these Bruin hitters saw Nyjah Kennedy's rise ball too, so Pickens has an awesome rise.
Down the line, and that'll drift out of play.
When you have that preparation of seeing high velocity rise ball just yesterday, I mean, you put those 2 up against each other, those are the 2 best rise balls that you're going to see in all of softball. That's why UCLA, I think, being able to get on top of a pitch that very few have done all year long.
Three-two. Fights off the inside pitch there, still coming at mid-70s. Your reaction time comparable to a 100-mile-an-hour major league fastball if you're in that batter's box. Back to Pickens. 1 down. 5 ground outs in a row.
All the runs UCLA has scored have come off the home run. It started with Lefty Ramirez on the rise ball, but look at how they've been able to have more level swings. If they have a swing that's coming underneath, these are fly balls, but they've stayed at the top of the zone to match a Pickens top of the zone rise ball, something that is not done very often at all. 3 of the Bruins hitters have done it tonight.
Here's Clements back to the top of the order. A couple of singles for Jessica. She had the walk-off home run to beat Oregon on Thursday night.
This is also where Carlin Pickens has developed so much as a pitcher, because she can go to those other pitches Smitty was talking about, going down to the zone with the drop. Got that off speed. And she's consistently going 75 miles an hour with that drop. That's her harder velocity pitch. So when you see the viral moment 79, 78, it's been her drop ball that's throwing that hard.
Dodge. 2 down. Let's send it down to Holly.
Well, Carlin Pickens came in, and she was just a fastball pitcher, and she has learned to be a finesse pitcher. But Karen Weekly said what's made her good here and this season is she doesn't just throw more pitches. She has learned to love those pitches. That's commitment and intent every time she's throwing something a little different out of her comfort zone.
Yeah, Holly, you have to be committed to your pitch. That's one of the biggest aspects of pitching, is that if you're calling or throwing your own pitches or it's coming in from the dugout, you have to be committed to it. Otherwise, you're never going to throw it to your best of ability. She has been committed to really loving that drop ball, ability to throw a rise ball, an off-speed pitch, not just throwing a fastball at 78 miles an hour.
Which definitely would work for a lot. I mean, I can definitely see why that worked for 19 years of her life.
Well, and Jess, we've talked about this all the time, even in international play. You look at Yukiko Ueno, who's probably one of the hardest throwers through the international game for many years. It wasn't her hard stuff. It was her knee-buckling changeup that looked exactly like her hard stuff.
Star for Japan for many years. Here's Savipola. It's been the long ball or bust here at the World Series for the Bruins. If Pola can get on, Woolery and Grant follow. Bottom of the 9th will be the heart of the Tennessee order coming up. And Pola sneaks one through. And here comes Jordan Woolery.
Mueller, the shortstop for Tennessee, had just snuck up the middle. So she had just moved slightly to the second base side, and Pola's gonna sneak this right past her. Nice diving play by Mueller, but that ball well struck by Savipola.
Out for a conference with Pickens. Oh, by the way, this is just the first game of the day. We got another one coming up. The 16-seed Oregon, the 2-seed Oklahoma. First pitch set for 7 Eastern on ESPN2, pending the length of this one. And then Texas and Texas Tech are already into the semifinals. They would need to win just once tomorrow to advance to play for the national championship. Neither Texas nor Tech has a ring. It's the first time that Texas Tech has come to the World Series. The last team to win it in their first trip, Oklahoma, 25 years ago. The All-American Jordan Woolery.
Talked so much about Jordan Woolery and Megan Grant, both of them juniors, but in the context of UCLA's greatest. I mean, these two have been phenomenal together for doing what they need to be done again here in the 9th inning. Run production, get Savipola home from first base.
Woolery, and that will scoot through. Pola makes the turn and heads for third. And the go-ahead run is 60 feet away for Megan Grant. The home run in the 7th set a new Big Ten single-season record, her 26th of the year. And her emotions, knowing that it all for 13 minutes with that review could have slipped away from her. And they're going to walk her. And pitch to lefty.
Her second intentional walk of this game.
It worked in the 5th. Pickens struck Ramirez out.
Ball 4.
And it's interesting, so many home run hitters in this lineup. You walk Megan Grant to get to Lefty Ramirez. Well, what she did in the 2nd innings, that's how the Bruins got on the board. Went after a rise ball solo shot. Her 2nd home run here at the Women's College World Series. So it keeps on getting tougher for Tennessee as far as the big bats continuing for the Bruins.
This was the same situation in the 5th inning, and Pickens struck Ramirez out, and she gets her to ground out here. Bottom 9, the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Lady Vols.
Well, if you missed how we got here and you like yourself some home runs, take it back to the 2nd inning. Start with Lefty Ramirez, a solo shot, followed by Sofia Mujica, another solo shot. Took the Bruins up 2-0, but oh, wait for it. It was definitely the 5th inning. Taylor Panel, who's been the hottest hitter here at the World Series for the Tennessee Vols. That's right, she hits a 2-run shot to put the Vols up 4-2. And then the 7th inning, top of 7, Megan Grant with a runner on. This ties the game with 2 outs, and that's where we're at here in extra innings. 4-4, bottom of the 9th for the Vols.
UCLA had the bases loaded in the top of the 9th, could not get it in. And now the Lady Vols will have their 3rd chance to walk it off. And it is one of those home run hitters, Taylor Panel, that will start it going, with Ella Dodge and Sophia Nugent due up. Winner is into the national semifinals. Loser, season comes to an end. Change up at 58 miles an hour off the mark, 1-0. Panel sends that one deep, and it's off the top of the wall, and it stays in the park. It hit the white line around the top at 200 feet and bounced back in.
I think Karen Weekly is asking about that.
As it stands a double for Panel. I think Weekly's looking to see if there's anything leaning against the wall, or did it hit the signage out there on the top of the wall on the foul pole?
Well, the last play on the field is that the ball did not leave the field and it was not a home run. This play is going to be under review.
So this is under review. Slimp, skids off the top of her glove.
Look how high she is. I mean, she got up, nicks. It's definitely a live ball. It hits just the, I mean, you guys, the top of the wall.
And comes back in.
Back in.
A great effort. And I mean, that would have been off for Riley Slimp. She almost assisted that over the wall. This would have ended the game and the season for the Bruins. And you're talking 1/4 of an inch.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I mean, that could have, man, up and over.
Yeah. That is great stuff from our crew too. Good camera work there.
How Taylor Panel, can we just talk about how ridiculous she is right now? Give a lot of credit to Grant and Woolery, but Panel, man, holy smokes.
After review, the ball did not leave the field. The runner will stay where she was at.
Taylor Panel takes that changeup and drives it off the top of the fence.
She's been on base 4 out of the 5 times today.
On this ball, just so well struck on the off speed.
Oh, goodness.
Man. The ups, though.
I know. Really slim. Get up, girl.
So here's a big chance for Ella Dodge. Game winner at second. Corners will charge on the bunt attempt.
I don't know if I like this. This is your 3-hitter. I get you want a runner even closer, but Ella Dodge has been swinging a great bat.
She does have 4 sack bunts on the season.
She put down one her last at bat.
Yeah, that's a win for the Bruins, I think. You get Ella Dodge, who is your 3-hole hitter. I mean, this is one of your better hitters you're expecting. She's had 2 clutch home runs in the postseason.
Well, now she's down 0-2. She's going to need to try to put something down right side.
Swing, yep. The pitch from Taylor Tinsley. A little flare and a little bloop, and back on the grass is Bragg to make the catch. 1 down, unproductive out.
Impressed with Bragg, the way that she moves to the ball.
And that's a swing, too, that Dodge has got to take down 0-2. I mean, you kind of take the bat out of her hand there, trying to get her to sacrifice, and now she's left with that one pitch to do something with.
So now it's Sophia Nugent. She has twice celebrated with her old team a national championship on this field. Whoa! They're looking to walk her, and that one came in.
Taylor Tinsley's like, whoop, my bad, laughing.
Good reacts from lefty behind the plate.
No doubt.
So this is a strategy that worked for them in the 7th inning. They walked Nugent to get to Gibson, who promptly hit into an inning-ending double play. But if you're Big Orange, there really, I don't think, is anybody you'd want more than Boo. The 4-year starter, playing in her 2nd World Series with Tennessee.
These are the seniors. Nugent, Gibson, Mealer. 3 in a row.
Can they cash in the Taylor panel double to lead off the inning and walk it off into the national semifinals? Outfield's playing shallow.
Ball.
Gibson takes ball 1.
Ball.
2-0. Three and 0.
Couple of curves on the outer half. Elevated and off the plate. Change up as well. Off the plate.
They're just going to walk her.
Yeah.
All right, so now you got to force at any base with 1 out, and they're loaded.
It almost seemed like they didn't really want anything to do with Gibson either. A situation where base is loaded, they know they have the opportunity, something hard, come home, and they're going to be pulled in. You can see, look at how you can see that they're all pulled in here, especially the middle, so they're playing for the traditional come home.
That does push panel to 3rd, so a wild pitch or a pass ball could be deadly. Here's Laura Mealer.
Put that winning run 60 feet away. That is a risk. Laura Mealer had 2 RBIs in that 1st inning. Was able to poke it through so many different ways with less than 2 outs.
One pitch. The last walk-off grand slam at the World Series brings up images of War Dam Eagle and Emily Carasoni in the Champ Series Game 2 against Oklahoma. Tried to get her to chase at 67 miles an hour.
Man, I don't know if I like that walk. I mean, just thinking about now, the infield pulled in. I'm looking at the field. I'm Laura Mueller right now. There is so much opportunity to get a run in. All you need is one. This is the bottom of the ninth.
A double and 2 walks to load them up. Ball. Ooh,
whoa, that was close.
Take 2 and 2.
1 and 2. Whew.
Mueller in foul territory and not playable. About 72 hours ago, they were the ones getting walked off against Oklahoma. Can they do it here to UCLA? Ramirez calls time, steps out. Tinsley refocuses. Mueller, just foul. There was some choreography for the base runner panel to make sure that didn't hit her.
Yeah, always taught at third base, got to stay on the foul side of the bag. So if you are hit with the ball, you're not out. You're in foul territory.
One out, forced at any base for UCLA. Mueller delivers! And the Tennessee Lady Vols walk it off in the bottom of the ninth into the national semifinals.
How about Laura Mueller working back from 0-2 to put herself in a position with the bases loaded to walk off this game?
She hit in 3 of the 5 runs. And both times she hit them in, the batter before her, Boo Gibson, was intentionally walked. She made them pay. And this is getting into the bottom of the order when you could lack confidence. You could not believe. But UCLA put that runner within 60 feet. And Laura Mueller with the game winner in the 9th inning.
And after 324 minutes, a well-deserved interview with Holly Rowe.
Up right now, chest pumping your teammates. What is going through your mind? 0-2 to try to win the game.
I just wanted to stay simple. I had an excellent team behind me, and I was really just trying to pass the bat no matter what happened.
It's a lot of pressure, though. Carlin Pickens has thrown 149 pitches. It's hot out here, and you're trying to end it. What did you see on that pitch?
Just stay small, stay simple, stay in the zone, and drive the ball.
How many walk-off game winners have you had?
It's my second one this year, so.
Good for you, and it's in the World Series. So what does that mean to you?
It's exciting. I'm just really glad I was able to pull out for my team this week.
Okay, tomorrow you can move on and play Texas, but you'll have to beat them twice. What is left in the tank after a long, dramatic game today?
We got everything left in the tank. We're ready. We're ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Transferred from Middle Tennessee State a couple of years ago because she wanted the big stage. She's on it today in Oklahoma City at the World Series, and she is our Capital One rewarding performance.
76 miles an hour, by the way. This wasn't just put the ball in play. I know what she just told Holly Rowe, but a beautiful swing. Got a pitch on the inside part of the plate with 2 strikes. Look at this swing. Kept the hands close to the body, and it is a game winner for the second time this year for Laura Mueller. No bigger moment has she had than this one to put the Vols' survival another day to Monday.
So we know an SEC team will play for the national championship. Will it be Tennessee? Will it be Texas? As the Lady Vols celebrate an extra innings win over UCLA. So the first semifinal is set noon tomorrow. Longhorns need to win once. Tennessee will need to win twice. And Texas Tech awaiting the winner of our next game coming up on ESPN2, the Oregon Ducks and the 4-time defending national champion Oklahoma Sooners. A tough way to end it for the UCLA Bruins. And for the Tennessee Lady Vols, they are moving on. Don't forget more softball over on ESPN2. Coming up next, ABC World News Tonight are your local news over most of these ABC stations.